Okay, just let me know we're ready on YouTube.
Okay, we are live on YouTube as well, I think.
Hello,
Yes.
effect enjoyers. Welcome
Hello.
to office hours number 22.
Wow, is it
How's
number
everybody
22
doing?
already?
It is number 22 already somehow.
Yeah.
I'm as shocked as you are, Mike.
For me, it's like number 3, but
True.
Wow,
First
22.
First question, FIWS, is context back yet? I swear. The band hammer is going to come out early and often.
Insert cluster meme here. Are we down to like 18 hours now for the cluster stream?
I think so. We must be. Must be like working our way downward. Let me fix my camera
exactly.
here. Pardon the shaking. Give me 1 second to fix my camera.
I am.
There we go.
Yes. Apparently it's bad camera day for everyone today. I had mine dropping off of the desk before.
Nice. Well, welcome again, everybody. We don't have any like set topics for today, so we can certainly like take questions from folks and go over whatever anybody wants to talk about. So feel free to like put questions in Discord, ask questions in the chat, tell us what you want to hear about, and we will talk about it.
Let's see.
What else is going on with everybody?
Did anyone ship something new in production? Someone from the audience shipped something new in production with Effect V4?
Yeah, everybody's suspiciously quiet today in chat. Very suspicious.
By the way, I noticed that there's at least 2 open source projects that are heavily experimenting with Effect V4. Against advice. One is the
as always
T3 code folks, so Theo and the rest of the team. Is a pretty nice full end-to-end V4 application, and very silently OpenCode is rewriting everything with Effect V4. I noticed because I was funny tracking Team Smart PRs. And I've seen that he opened a PR on OpenCode 5 days ago. I was like, what is this about? And then I realized that Keith has been pushing PRs to effectify the code base for the past 2 weeks. And Tim was playing with runtimes.
As it should be.
I noticed as well because I had my connection going down temporarily the other day, and I received an error which had a tag in the output. So it was suspicious. I was like,
very suspicious.
Very suspicious. And then I checked out the same error on the code base, and I found out about Effect as well.
Now I gotta find Tim's PR and we gotta look at it because nobody's talking. And nobody seems to have any questions. So
should we roast Tim's PR?
Yeah, let's roast Tim's PR.
Yeah.
He's not even here to defend himself, poor guy.
Yeah, that's the fun part. Plus, it's his birthday, apparently.
Yeah.
It's his birthday. Everybody wish Tim Smart a happy birthday on Twitch.
But it feels like the Twitter, good moment to roast Tim's PRs while he's not present and while it's his birthday.
Yeah, it seems like a good birthday present for him.
Yes, that's the point.
He watches this VOD back later, and it's literally just us like making fun of his PR on his birthday.
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly what we should do.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up. Hang on, I gotta reorganize all my windows. I still haven't figured out how to use a tiling manager. Like me resizing my windows manually like it's 2015 or something.
Like a caveman.
Like a caveman.
A caveman,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I thought you were supposed that when you hadn't enough space on the window, you just purchase a new screen. Isn't that how it works?
I think you're right, Mattia. I think you're right.
So it then translates to literally window management.
Exactly.
Let me make this bigger. Well, let me just read through the chat really quick before we start roasting. Since we started a new project with Effect v4, not anywhere near completion yet. Very exciting. Made a code mode MCP server in Effect. Great stuff. Cool. Is it code mode for a specific like API, or is it just code mode in general?
Yeah.
What was the first one? D3. The first one, what? It would be cool if you could
T3 code.
T3. Oh, okay. T3 code, Morgan Infiltrator. It's a T3 code. I can pull that up too. T3 code.
There you go.
And I think Julius has been like pretty significantly utilizing Effect v4 in here. Let's look. Drainable worker. First import.
Yeah.
The only imports, as it should be.
And it should be, yeah. We should ban every other module.
ESLint rule incoming to ban any other import but from Effect or add Effect.
We might still want to allow local imports, you know.
No.
Otherwise it's a single file.
No, that works as well. A single file.
Just use Effect to import your modules.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if the TypeScript checker were a single file, I don't see why you cannot have an entire application written in a single file.
You see, that's Mattia with a galaxy brain thought right there.
That's right.
Trying out domain-driven design. I better understand how to use services. Cool. Yeah, I think services can lend themselves pretty well to that particular use case. I like building my entire application around services because then literally everything becomes pluggable, including the entry point to your application. Actually holding off on v4 because of the context service map thing. Don't want to rewrite my code. That's why I ask. It's not all trolling. I mean, listen, if we rename it to context, it'll literally be a find and replace of service map.service to context.service. And we probably will rename it. It's just that Mike hasn't forced us to yet. So, but
let's do it now. Let's spin up Clunker and do it now.
Not doing it now. I'll get Tim to get his army of Lalf bots to do it. A lot of happy birthday messages to Tim Smart. I wonder how many of us waited for v4 beta to start our projects. That's actually a good question. How many people were waiting for v4 to come out to like start using Effect? Found Effect about a year and a half ago, but didn't start working with it until recently. I wasn't a good enough dev back then. I mean, I don't know about that. But I'm glad that you gave Effect a try, and hopefully you're enjoying the experience so far. Funny you mentioned that. I find that
if the end of that storyline was, but I'm not a good developer enough yet.
I don't think you need to be a good developer to use Effect, but
no, that's the point.
Helps.
Yeah,
right.
As long as you carry as you care of write good application, I think that's the only thing that you need to.
If anything, Effect was made because all of us are at the end of the day not good developers. Like we all have our we're good at something, but we cannot be good at everything, and in any sizable application you're gonna have many things to do, so it's kind of guiding you to avoid screw ups here and there. So yeah, if anything, you definitely don't need to be a 10xer of any kind to use effect.
Unless you're me, and then you're like a 1000x front end engineering intern.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You should see how many timeouts exist on the new website, but we're not talking about the new website.
Max literally gave me a link to the new version of the website. Very happy about his porting of the initial. Well, there's an effect visualizer that Kit Langton initially developed, and had a lot of memory leaks because it was literally all vibe coded without checking anything. This is a good time to roast Kit, given he's also not present.
This is actually just a roasting stream. We're just roasting everyone.
Yes, exactly. And Maxwell rewrote it. Was very, very proud. I opened the website and I was like, Max, how many timeouts do you have in this website? It's like a lot.
Substantial
amount of timeouts.
Substantial number of timeouts. Timeout stonks are going through the roof.
Yeah.
Funny you mentioned the imports. I find that I'm only using import from effect in all my files, which is a good indicator that I take it. Yes, that is the only imports that you should have. Any other imports are a mistake. That is a massive water bottle from this angle. Who had a water bottle? Was it Mattia? Mike.
I think it's mine.
Is it mine? Yes, it's a massive water bottle. I have to drink more.
Next, quick project Discord bot with Discordeno, but everything on top of effect. Discord bot with Discordeno, but everything on top of effect deno runtime. Why would you use I don't know what Discordeno is, but why wouldn't you use DFX? DFX is so good. Look at DFX. Of course, it's Tim Smart's project, but I love DFX. I think it's great. Like building Discord interactions and stuff with DFX is super easy. Building a whole bot with DFX is super easy, and like the code is so much less like coupled in my experience. But anyway, what is your guys' opinion on the Vite Plus monorepo library tool chains? I don't really have an opinion yet. Maybe Mike and Mattia do.
I gave it a quick try. I feel like my main complaint there used to be that it was kind of a commercial project, and I thought that this kind of tool chain is better fit for pure open source. But last week they announced that they are moving the project to a fully open source version license, so that they're using, I think, MIT, which is obviously very permissive. And look, folks, the tool chain around Vite is great, and especially like the new stuff with OXLint and so on and so forth is very good. Roll down is making a lot of progress. So I'm very positive overall on the Vite tool chain, and a CLI that kind of packs all together in a single install seems like a very good idea. And they took the smart decision not to be a package manager by themselves, but integrate into whatever package manager you use. So using it with PNPM and so on and so forth is going to be really nice. The only small complaint that I had about the developer experience is that they don't auto alias the package scripts. So if you have like a dev script, you do Vite plus dev, and it runs their own dev server instead of your dev script. But this is something that also Theo made a good kind of roasted them for this. I'm not sure if, like, I see the point of not making automatic aliasing, because differently from like PNPM or Bun, Vite Plus has a lot of commands by default, so it would be confusing to get aliasing and potential conflict over the various packages, package scripts. So like the only trouble I had was I had to type vit plus run and the package script, but those are very minor things. One is gonna get used to it, even just by having a simple shell alias. But overall, I liked it. I wish the vit folks the best, because to be honest, I feel like they are the only ecosystem that is really pushing the boundaries of a tool chain that embeds both backend and front end, and that doesn't tie you up with a single deployment platform and so on and so forth. Very curious about what now, like the new Void Zero launch of the deployment platform and so on and so forth. I feel like that's going to be a much better product than Vit Plus, and I'm very happy about the overall strategy. So wishing them the best. Hopefully we're going to use it at some point. For library development at the moment, we are kind of sticking to the bare minimum to avoid putting a lot of custom solutions on top. But like in V4 especially, we are using more of their toolchain already. So it's not impossible to see a future where we would also adopt the rest of the toolchain.
Yeah, I think it's likely. I think it's likely. I like all the pieces of the toolchain. I haven't experimented with like the unified CLI yet, but some more like praise for Mike. Thank you for these streams, Mike. Love that you brought in viewers from the audience. We appreciate the collective, Mike. The collective, Mike. All three of us really appreciate that. Thank you very much. We enjoy these streams as well. Thank God Mike had this idea, and thank God Mike leads them every single week.
Now you're gonna meet passive aggressive Maxwell.
This is passive aggressive Maxwell. Incoming. What else did we see here? TFX for V2 on the bot. First approach was mainly because I wanted to understand the inner workings before jumping into abstracting away complexity. But yes, maybe I'll just forget it and go DFX. Yes, forget it and go DFX.
Yeah.
DFX it's so nicely integrates with Effect for building Discord bots. Like it's very good. It's very, very good. All right. Shall we roast Tim's PR?
Oh, yes.
What was he doing?
Sounds like a good thing.
Maybe Tim
I
is
also
actually
noticed that
roasting.
he has one closed PR, so probably he made 2 PRs.
Oh man, hang on a minute. Let me just edit my filter here.
Wouldn't it be funny if it is a one-liner?
It probably is.
And we can
merged.
Can roast.
This one was merged. Oh, this isn't even Effect. This doesn't count. This is not Effect. Yeah, we can't look at this. This hurts my eyes. It's not
That's slop.
It's pure slop. So this PR, I guess, is refactoring the Effect runtime. So I guess Effect v5 announced embedded in OpenCode.
Plus, as all team PRs, zero description whatsoever.
Yeah.
Of the changes.
Yeah. Here's 23
like
file modified.
If you want to know what I'm doing, just look at the fucking code.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is actually pretty tame for Tim, like in terms of changes. Like usually it's like 2,000 additions, -100, and there's literally just like a one-word title and no description. And it's like it's yeah. He was playing with the Legos. Okay. Alrighty. The GitHub Actions was not happy with his title, clearly. Let's see here.
Effective file, LSP. Oh, they are starting with the LSP. Wow, nice.
Interesting. Okay. Vouch. Whatever that means. All right, let's look at the code before we look at the comments. What's going on in here? Let me see. So let's get rid of this. So I think we'll probably want to start with looking at this runtime file.
Yeah.
So let's. What is this? Okay, so v4 spotted. That's cool. Look good to me. Merge. PRs from Tim. Looks good to me. Merge it. Ship it.
Ship it.
Vouch is Mitchell Hashimoto's social credit system for. Okay, yes.
Oh.
Vouch is this person does not send AI slop stamp.
Well, I'm not
Sorry
sure
to be annoying. What's
Team Smart then?
Yeah, you can never be sure with Tim. You don't know if his PRs were AI generated because he's essentially the most advanced artificial intelligence that we have. Sorry to be annoying, but what's the official word on the effect v4 documentation? I don't know. We should probably ask our Lord and Savior Mike about.
Why are you asking me for documentation? I never wrote documentation. I don't know. In my life.
You're the one running the effect office hours, clearly. So that's these questions are for you. There is no word on v4 documentation.
But the plan there is we're gonna get a release candidate once we have all AI guidelines for transition, and we have proved via evals that AI systems are good at writing v4. And then the follow-up steps is to make the v4 documentation available before we do a final stable 4.0 release. Timing wise, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no commitments on timing. None.
How
crazy hard would it be to integrate effect cluster with trigger.dev?
Why would you?
I think that they're not competing, but they're doing the same sort of thing. Like, we don't need documentation anymore. We got Tim Smart.
Yep.
Sorry if the question about no, homie. To be clear, I'm not calling this person homie. His username is homie. Homie is not in my colloquialisms, but homie 10100. Question hasn't been asked. It's been asked in the past, but we're not roasting you or anything like that. We just don't know when the documentation's going to be out because v4 is still under pretty heavy development. So we don't want to pour time into documenting v4 when things are still very much up in the air.
Going back to the question about trigger.dev, I think integrating effect cluster with trigger.dev is not something that you would ever want to do. What you might want to do is integrate effect workflows with trigger.dev. Effect workflows is an effect way of defining durable workflows. The official runtime for that is effect cluster, but the API is runtime independent, so technically you could integrate that into trigger.dev. As of complexity, I'm not sure. Usually doing those types of integration is non-trivial, but AIs are becoming good at doing those types of things, so you might have an easy life. I've never done it, so I can't speak from experience, but it doesn't feel like an impossible thing to do. I remember Mattia at some point did an integration with Restate.
Yeah. In the end, we even. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Mattia. Sorry,
I was saying that it's not impossible. I think that when I tried to do that, it was more a manual work because AI weren't there yet. But I think that, as Mike mentioned, probably the AI can end up writing something that would work for you. You can point out how the official cluster one is implemented, the interfaces, and I think that the AI can write for you an integration that hides behind the effect workflow APIs, another basically workflow engine.
There's a question in chat from Homie about if I'm good at effect, if I'm good at using effect, do you think it'd be relatively easy to get a job using it? We have a listing of jobs. So yeah, I do think it would be easy to get a job. There's quite a few companies adopting effect, and there's quite a few companies already using effect in production. We publish on our website every week, effect.website. Every week on our blog, we have a series called This Week in Effect. And part of this series every week is listing job opportunities. So we've got quite a few in here now. Wow. Quite a few in here now. And there's always more and more companies that are approaching us, letting us know that they're hiring folks. So feel free to, anybody who's looking for a job using effect in production, please look through our list. And also join the Discord and take a look at the, I think it's called hiring or job opportunities. What's it called? Hiring? There's a channel in Discord for
effect jobs.
Folks. Yeah, effect jobs. There's a channel in Discord where you can post about looking for work, and also companies can post about the fact that they're looking to hire effect experts. The side effect of using effect is getting a great job. Marketing. Yeah.
It's not even wrong.
Mirella, put it on the new website's homepage.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about the new website. It seems like more jobs are posted on This Week in Effect than on Discord. That's not true. They just get aggregated into This Week in Effect. So like they either, the This Week in Effect jobs come from the Discord channel or from companies approaching us and letting us know that they're hiring and that they'd like to be featured in the blog. Or like if we know anybody who's looking for work. So if you're a company and you're trying to hire folks who know effect, you can also feel free to reach out to us directly. All right, let's see what's going on in here.
Let's think.
So it looks like they are using managed runtime in OpenCode for the moment. I think this makes sense because the entire app is obviously not written in effect at this point. So like we can probably, as part of this review, talk about good practices for integrating effect into an existing large code base. So I think that like, you know, using managed runtime as like an initial jumping off point to bringing effect into a very large existing code base is kind of a, makes sense. It's a nice way to package up services and layers and then make them reusable across the app. Because I think, you know, you could start by running effect.run promise and things like that in your app wherever you want. But the problem with that is like the services that you acquire and release when you run an effect to completion with effect.run promise, like there's no way to like, you're going to end up closing those services unless you do some like jump through some hoops. So I think it's a little bit better to start with managed runtime. And then when you get to the point that like enough of your app is using effect, you can start going from the top in and like make the entry point to your app effectified and start removing the usage of managed runtime. It also looks like they're using a little bit of more advanced feature of managed runtime, which is you can actually specify the memo map that's used by a runtime in effect. So under the hood, this like memo map data structure, we've talked about it before, but this is the thing that allows us to keep track of layer memoization. So when you're building like the layer graph in your app, this data structure, a memo map, is the thing that allows effect to track whether or not a layer has been built already or not, so that we don't build the same layer twice if it's found multiple times in your layer graph. Let's see what else. We have a service runtime interface that exposes the runtime itself as a lazy thing. There's probably a reason for this. I guess there's many runtimes that could exist.
Wrong.
Yeah, it seems so because they seem to be keyed by the layer.
Let's see if Tim fixed this.
They return an empty function, like a function that takes no argument and just return the already constructed runtime.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This can probably be a constant. I don't think it needs to be like lazy here. But maybe there's a reason we're not aware of, but it doesn't seem like it here. Just looking at this code, it seems like you could probably just make this not lazy. Let's see. It also looks like for convenience, they export run sync and run promise directly from this interface, which is fine. Just lets you like, let's see. What is this? Service runtime.
Seems like they have kind of one runtime per service.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a map that has a layer as a key.
Key from, and to be clear, this is Tim's code. So we're looking at Tim's code right now.
Oh,
yeah. I opened up Tim's like the version that Tim edited. So this is like his code.
It was before just Oh, they have also the layer is like is typed so that the service has to that's provided has to produce the same output as the layer. So when you call make runtime global, you have to have both the service key and the layer that produces exactly that. Okay.
Yeah, it does look like this helper is designed to give you methods to run a specific service. So global runtimes is a global map. It's keyed by the layer instance. If the runtime doesn't exist, one is created and we reuse the memo map. So this again allows you to not have to create this layer many times. This layer will be memoized in this shared memo map. So when you create a managed runtime, you can like do this kind of thing. You can like customize the memo map that's used. Then we set the global runtime. So I guess this helper is to almost cache the layer for a particular service and expose it as a runtime so that you can like, I'm not exactly sure what the utility of this is yet, but I'm sure we'll find out. Make runtime instance. Okay. We have this get instance runtime thing, whatever that is. We've got a specialized run promise here that is doing a lot of legwork to observe the fibers exit. Excuse me. Get instance runtime. Let's see what this thing does. Why have a map of runtimes in a platform like OpenCode? I don't know. That's what we're trying to find out. Guys, we're going to have a real hard time roasting Tim's code if we can't even understand it. Let's see. Instance.directory.
Yeah.
All runtimes.get directory. If the map doesn't exist, we create one. We set the map for that directory. Instance context. We'll probably need to go look at instance context up here to understand what this is. Let's go look. So this must be, I wonder if this is to accommodate the work tree feature or the workspace feature of OpenCode, where you can have multiple workspaces running. So like this instance context thing allows you to kind of track which workspace you're in maybe. And then these methods down here allow you to grab the runtime for a particular like layer, maybe. Tim Effect does code a lot, indeed. Tim Effect does code a lot. Let's see what else is going on. Actually, I want to look at the comments to see if we can glean any other useful information from this. Let's see. The problem is that we have two tiers of services. We have global services that should only ever be instantiated once per app, and then instance services, per directory services that should be instantiated and shared once per instance until that instance is disposed, at which point they'd be shut down, reacquired until the next disposal. Managed runtime does what we need for the global services, and layer map basically does what we need for the instance services, minus the forceful interruption on invalidation, hence the RC map PR, but I was able to implement forceful interruption in a draft I have here. The problem with this approach is that requirement numero dos is not met, as it will potentially instantiate an instance service multiple times if it's depended on by a second instance service layer. Let's see. These tests describe the desired lifecycle behavior of the runtime system. We model 3 services: global, process-wide, shared across all directories. B is instance scoped, depends on global. A is instance scoped, depends on both B and the global service. Every layer increments an acquire counter when it is built and a release counter when the runtime is disposed. That lets each test describe not just the final value, but the, okay, fine, we don't need to know about that. Key invariant within a single directory. Instance services that appear as dependent. So yeah, I think this has to do with either directories or workspaces or something. So this is the global service. There's these two. We have a global layer. We have the B service that depends on the global layer. We have the A service that depends on both B and the global layer. So the global service is a runtime is created. So that's what we were looking at before. And then B, we have an instance specific runtime where we get a fresh instance of B and give it the global layer. And similarly, wait, where did B layer come from? Up here. And for this instance version, we get a fresh instance of A, provide B, provide the global layer. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Instance services are reused within a directory, but isolated across directories. I guess. Maybe it's directory specific. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure there's like a very good reason why this needs to be the case, but I'm feeling the same way I did back in the day. Maybe, maybe not. I feel, comment is, I'm feeling the same way back in the day when I saw Rust code for the first time. What the? Yeah, this code is definitely a little hard for me to understand.
I mean, I think I grasped the idea. I mean, the idea is that, as you mentioned, some services need to be created per directory and cannot be reused across different directory. I am not understanding
Which I think
why.
it's a wrong design.
Yeah, unless like there are some services that, in order to be acquired, need to be scoped by directory. They need, for example, to create temporary files in directory, something like that. But I don't get why the layer map didn't work in here.
Yeah.
Again, just guessing, and didn't know, but just guessing what comes in my mind as we speak.
There's a comment in the chat. Effect makes your code easier to reason about. Yeah.
If you do it right, it does.
In general, yes. What are we doing? We're supposed to be roasting this code, not like talking about trying to understand it. Like, this is garbage. This is garbage. Throw it away. Start from scratch. Start from scratch. Let's go back to the diff and see if we can't figure anything else out in here. Because like I'm not understanding why you would need directory scope services instead of having like a service that can handle the acquisition and release lifecycle in different directories. Let's see. Where can we go? File. Is that what Tim was trying to do? Trying to fix that? Maybe.
That is possible.
The code is roasting you. Indeed. When you try to roast the code, but the code roasts you. Yep. Yep. Well, as much as I would love to keep looking at this, I'm not going to. Let's look at T3 code.
Actually, I think in Discord we have a question.
Okay, there's a question in Discord. I am having trouble getting TypeScript happy when building an agentic loop function in v4 that passes in a generic to toolkit.withHandler. In v3, I was able to get this working without issue, but when migrating to v4, the type ends up returning unknown for the requirements. I've had to cast the chat service in v4 version to make things happy. Let's see. Is this a link? Yes, this is the v3 version. The most chopped down version of the loop would be, okay, I think we can go with this. Let's see. So the v3 version, we've got an agentic loop state, we've got tool param schema. This is the loop. TR extends record string tool any. This is v3, right? Yes. We create mailbox events, whatever that does. We have a ref for the finish reason. We have a tool params ref. We run the chat with the toolkit, and then for each part, we do stuff. New map. Okay, so we're tracking like incremental tool parts, tracking the deltas. Doesn't the chat do this already? Anyway, tool params, and I guess not. I'm not sure if it tracks incremental pieces, but events.tool call complete. Okay. This looks fine. Let's look at this. Where's the cast?
The toolkit has an any there.
Yeah, exactly.
Here? This.
Yeah, so you can use all the types.
Yeah, and previously that was a generic type, I think, in the version 3.
Yeah. This needs a generic type, otherwise like this is not going to work. Like you need to infer the generic constraint here.
Yeah, if you
I don't know.
go into the version, if you go with the example with version 3, it was a generic parameter. So
I don't know.
Are we sure that this is an example of v3? It's not actually using v4.
This is using v3 because there is no effect AI in v4. True. It's embedded. Lloyd, are you in the chat? I'm assuming yes, since you asked the question in the office hours chat. Let me see if you said anything else, but I think you'll need a generic constraint here, which like allows this to infer. Also, you can use effect.fn here. I had tried it with the generic before, and it was still unknown requirements. Okay, let me. We can try to make this even more minimal. Hang on one second. Copy text. Let me put this into a scratch pad in small. Check out main git pull. I'll share my screen in 1 second. I'm just cleaning up a PR I was working on. Git scratchpad repros. Okay. Let me share my screen. Stop sharing, and then I'll reshare. And then let me make the text bigger. Is that a good size?
I'd say yes.
Okay. Let me know if you folks need me to make the text any bigger. I'm going to strip this down even more. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. We don't need any of this. Okay. Okay. Type of property toolkit is incompatible with handler tools, is not assignable to. This might just be of the fact that that this type is wrong from like inside stream text. Let's just take a look. So for options, these types are so gnarly. Mike, I remember like you and me working on this. Generate text options is a toolkit. The toolkit option tools extends any. So this is the handler version. I mean, this is the same, right? We've talked about that. I don't think this makes sense, this conditional type.
Well, it's simply because if the tools are a union, we want this to be a union of. But this is just distributing the type.
Yeah, but don't we need a second conditional here? Would that help or not really?
Why?
To check if it's a toolkit that's already been converted to a handler, or if it's the yieldable version that will produce a handler.
I think this is the base constraint.
Let's check. No, this is the option. This is like what gets produced as the option type. So with handler has handle in it, right? extract tools from toolkit option. Just to like orient folks, this like utility type here didn't exist in v3, which is probably why this error didn't surface there. But like right now, if I go back to this, these generate text options are representing this here. It's what stream text and generate text take, right? And the toolkit option here gets passed to the tools. This essentially gets resolved to this union. Which I think is the problem. Like, what if I do wait a minute. Toolkit option. It should take this or this. Right? Like the option itself should resolve to this. Right? Argument of type prompt never, toolkit with handler tools is not assignable to parameter of type prompt never, toolkit with handler. Handler tools and generate text.
It's the generate text options that that is fucking it up.
This constraint here, the end. This is here for, if you recall, you and I put this here to enforce the I think it was to prevent additional properties from being able to be passed in here. But let's try.
Not sure. It still complains about generate text options.
I think it's because I have this in the right place. Yeah. Chat. Stream text. Let's remove it here. And let's remove it.
That's the only one.
Generate text.
Yeah.
Stream text. We're using stream text.
Oh, option extends no access property. No, I don't think that's it.
Why is it using the TSCO LSP? Hang on. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think we fixed it. Or sorry, stream.runRain. Is it happy yet? Type stream.
I'd say just extract that to a variable, otherwise it's very impossible to see the types.
Give it 1 sec.
It's an union with something.
So this is the return type. This is like the potential errors. And then the requirements are you need a language model, and you need the services for the handlers and the services for decoding the tools. But this is type checking now, so I wonder if... Yeah, this end restriction is the problem. And let me test something. I feel like there was a reason why we had that check in there.
Probably
Can you
to
remember?
autocomplete.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Maybe you have things like conditional autocompletion.
Let's check that type actually.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
The generate text options?
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me when to scroll.
But what was the type that gave an issue?
I will go back.
I think it was toolkit option. Awesome.
So this intersection was giving it a problem.
Might be because of the extract tools.
So if we have a toolkit, we infer the toolkit value, and then we try to extract tools from the toolkit. If we have a toolkit that's got a handler, there was a reason why I did all of this, or maybe it was somebody else that did this. I don't remember doing this. Wait, what's going on here? Infer tools, infer underscore tools.
Oh, if the toolkit has an handler itself, it resolves the toolkit. Otherwise, it requires an effect.
Part of me is happy to see someone else struggling with this as much as I was. What's the distinction between
all this code? If the toolkit is generic, it's not gonna work.
The toolkit is generic. The toolkit is indeed generic. I think all of these things are trying to resolve different pieces of the return type based on whether or not the toolkit is there, and also based on whether or not tool call resolution has been disabled. Because if tool call resolution is disabled, you don't need any of the toolkit errors. But if you are resolving tool calls, you want the errors to be there. But I'm not sure when these utilities were introduced. I also really don't remember why we needed that intersection in V3. This one.
It restricts further what the options can be.
So what options would we need to restrict, though?
Well, most likely a toolkit here. Why is a good question.
Yeah. Probably need to look at this and see if it's even necessary anymore. Because I know I did a lot of work to improve the types of toolkit. So like all of these gymnastics might not be necessary anymore. Because this already restricts the autocomplete to valid properties for the options. So this might not be necessary anymore. And if that were the case,
I don't think that's the case. Because for that case, we always had the utility of no access properties. These must be to restrict some fields. Because like, for example, if the toolkit is used in 2 different places to avoid TypeScript to widen the type.
It's a good question, Lloyd. It looks like a type bug. We'll probably need to take this offline because I don't think anybody wants to watch us debug TypeScript stuff.
They're having quite fun roasting you.
They are. I haven't been reading chat while you roast me, but
there shouldn't be.
Okay, we have an interesting question in YouTube chat, which is AI writing effect defaults to TypeScript idioms, T or null, native arrays, manual parsing, despite ESLint bans and review rubrics. How to enforce effect thinking beyond syntax rules? Well, make the ESLint rules errors and don't allow the AI to pass unless the rule pass. AI is only getting good with back pressure. So you have to optimize the back pressure. If the lint rules are checked asynchronously, the AI doesn't care about it. If you have one command that the AI is forced to run at every change that fails, if the change doesn't comply with your rules, the AI is going to fix it. So I think it's as simple as that.
I think you need to add just like a thing to your agents or whatever file that tells the AI to run all your checks after every change. And if you have ESLint rules that ban patterns that you don't want in place in your code base, then there's no way. What about in the planning phase? It's a good question.
First, the planning phase should not have code. The planning phase is about concept. It's not about specific implementations. The moment you have code in plans is already wrong. So I'm not sure what that means specifically. Another comment, I wish TypeScript types were a bit easier to read, so debugging stuff like this is easier. There must be some underlying thing TS can improve to help with this. Kind of wishful thinking. If TypeScript types were easier, you wouldn't have these types of solutions. It's a Turing complete language, and like any Turing complete language, it's gonna be hard to debug when you stretch it at the maximum. There's really nothing that the S team can do to make this kind of stuff easy.
I'm going back in the git blame to see if I can figure out why we had the intersection there.
It's gonna be a self-blame.
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 It's like the meme with Scooby-Doo. It's like, who's this bad guy? Maxwell.
Who did this?
Maxwell.
Who did this?
Oh my God, GitHub, stop auto scrolling. Why are you like this? Guys.
My experience, you need AI agent to run the validation check so that it can act on the results. If you don't have the AI agent read the output, it can't act on it. Well, I'd go further than that and say that the checks should not be part of the AI loop, but should be part of a deterministic loop that invokes the AI. So like we do most coding in Ralph-like loops, and you have the primary agent that does coding, and then when that agent stops, we have a deterministic check that runs all the checks and feeds back the errors in the loop. You want the checks to be deterministic, and AI is by default non-deterministic, so it can decide to skip the checks because it doesn't like the checks.
Yep. AI knows that the best way to solve a problem is not seeing it.
When you said the primary agent, all I could think about was Kit talking about the primogen.
Oh my God, $15 hats, Holly based. It's not our pricing. We don't make any money out of the merch. Because Maxwell posted the merch link.
And you'll never get this one again.
They're very high quality hats, that's for sure. But the pricing is purely out of Printful. We actually tried to make a merch ourselves and discovered how complex shipping merch would be around the world with all of the different taxes. And it's like, we're not gonna do that. So
I think the comment was actually that our merch is
closed.
I think the comment was actually our merch is cheaper compared to others.
And then they're probably American folks.
Fair enough.
Because for whatever is cheap for you folks, for us it's dumb expensive.
Yeah.
Fair. And it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse.
We're not entering politics, but
in what else did we have here? I've been trying out Lalf, and I gotta say, it's so awesome. Curious if you guys have integrated it into your workflow. I haven't yet, but I want to talk to Tim about daily driving it because I feel like for addressing issues for the effect repo, it's pretty nice. And like all of us to some degree do contribute to like the open source projects. And so like being able to use Lalf to work on those issues while you're not even at your computer would be nice. So maybe this evening, if Tim and I do stream, I'll have him help me set up Lalf so that I can try it out.
I tried. I cannot understand how to use it.
Yeah.
I have my own Ralph loops that I'm happy about.
Yeah, I unfortunately am the same opinion of Mike. I tried, but sometimes it worked. It did amazingly, and sometimes it didn't. And so in the end, I had my own that is like kind of a mixture of in between Lalf and in between the loop Mike had.
Everybody's got their own orchestrator, right?
At point in time, everybody's developing their own tooling.
Yeah.
Will you stream here if you do, or somewhere else? I stream if Tim and I stream, we stream on my Twitch, which is, I'll link it. Give me one sec. Please go ahead and subscribe to my Twitch. Shameless plug. When we do office hours, we stream both to YouTube and to my Twitch. So.
And Maxwell said he's gonna gift one hat to every new subscriber out of his own pocket.
Well, I only have 2 hats, and they're my hats, so. And I have holes in my pockets. They're called children. So.
Oh. That's kind of
Very nice.
We'll use, what was I'm in the nothing ever changes mindset. I think that was in response to Mike with his everybody's building their own tooling thing. I mean, everybody is building their own tooling, so I don't know how you could continue to have that mindset. Any other questions, folks? Things you want us to talk about? Because we're at a little over an hour, and we could keep going, but if nobody has any other questions or things they want us to discuss, we could close office hours now. Just let us know.
Or maybe take a quick look at the T3 code.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can do that too. While we wait for folks to chime in, let's do that. Window, this one, share. Let's see. Let's start from the top. So it's a minimal web GUI for coding agents. Currently Codex and Claude. More coming soon. If you really want to contribute still, read this first. Let's see what Julius said. If you want to contribute, we're not actively accepting contributions. You can still open issues or PRs, but know that there's a high chance that we just close it, defer it forever, or never ever look at it. I like this contributing.md. I like this one. If that's annoying, that's because it is.
This project is. It's get better. It get better.
It's getting better. I like this contributing.md. This is good. This project is still early, and we're trying to keep scope, quality, and direction under control. PRs are automatically okay. What we're most likely to accept is focused bug fixes, reliability fixes, proof improvements. Sure. Okay. So let's see here. What is in the agents file? Sure. So this package roles. I feel like some of this is not necessary. Sorry, Julius. I think almost all of this is unnecessary context. These are not. These are fine. I would argue, if Julius is listening, I doubt he is, but if he is, I would argue this is the only thing that you need in your agents file. Maybe this.
Maybe if I don't know if it has like a folder with reference repositories or something, probably that goes in the CloudMD as well.
Let's see. Apps. No, these are the. Let's look in git ignore. Mike, it does not look like Julius has adopted your pattern, or at least it's not evident to me.
My pattern being?
Clone the repo locally.
So, yeah.
As they say, not my problem.
Well, anyway, let's look at some code. Let's look in shared source. I don't know. What's drainable worker do? Drainable worker is a queue-based worker that exposes a drain effect, wraps the common queue unbounded plus effect forever pattern, and adds a signal that resolves when the queue is empty and the current item has finished processing. This lets tests replace timing-sensitive effect.sleep calls with deterministic drain. Okay. It feels like, okay, wait, let's look at this. Makes a queue, makes it deferred. Wait.
And immediately complete defer?
Okay, I'm going to defer judgment for 1 minute. Has a state ref. Add finalizer to shut down the queue, which is fine. State. So we finish one, modifies the state by checking how many outstanding there are. I guess outstanding tasks. And if remaining is 0, returns the idle deferred, otherwise returns null.
Oh, probably he wanted a latch instead of the idle deferred. I don't know. Just
process.
thank you. Yeah. It seems like a counter outstanding that counts the amount of current pending items, and then idle is just a deferred that completes when there are no entry outstanding. So probably that would have been like a latch, right?
And the idle is kind of rolling.
Yeah. And basically that deferred completes only when there are no entries, because we saw before that it completed at the end of the finish one, it completed if it was idle null, right?
Yeah.
This is a good case to use STM actually, because all of this is going to be unsynchronized, and you might have race conditions all over the place.
But if the whole purpose of this is just to drain a queue, or to be able to wait for draining a queue, and this is V4.
Plus having a signal when the queue gets to 0.
That's the point.
Right.
Which is not easy to do with a normal queue.
Right.
Very easy to do with a transactional queue.
You heard it here first, folks. A good use case for STM right here. Julius, if you're listening, STM.
Yeah, I'd say STM, right. As simple as TX queue, and then your idle check simply becomes a size check with a retry, with an STM retry, and it'll automatically give you a signal when the size gets to 0.
Create a PR for it?
We could.
Fair enough.
Could we try T3 code to do the PR? That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Except we use neither codecs nor Claude code. So
yeah, I'm an we're all, as far as I'm aware, we're all OpenCode enjoyers, except for Tim, who's currently a Clanka enjoyer, but still uses OpenCode. And no, I think actually he integrated Clanka into Lauf now too. So ticket state idle, and then this just waits, and this idle check would just become your STM retry loop, right?
Yeah.
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 Plus the state could also be a TX ref, so the whole set of changes is transactional.
Maybe we will make a PR. Maybe I'll do that today. Mike can check my work. You folks can watch in real time. Mike, what is the rule for when you need to take an STM, and when is it correct to what's the word I'm looking for? Hang on, I'll show you. I know this is really tiny. Give me 1 second. I'll just go back in here. When is it correct to wrap? At what boundary do you do that with your STM?
What's that?
Like when do you wrap the STM with the transaction signal or atomically or whatever it's called? Like in your examples, when you would create TX ref, right?
You're still screen sharing the trainable worker.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. Sorry. Why is Riverside like this? Sure. Okay. When you create a TX ref, right? This is the effect that creates a TX ref and requires a transaction. If you do this, right, you get your TX ref. How how do you know, like similar to, like I'm thinking of providing the transaction similar to like scoped, right? Like, so how do I know where? A good question for the audience and also for me is like, how do you know what the transaction boundary is? Like, what's the rule of thumb there?
There's no real rule of thumb there. It's totally dependent on business logic.
So in this case,
transaction,
like if we were,
sorry, the scope of a transaction is the scope of the retry.
Got it. That makes more sense.
So you basically let it bubble up. It's like database transactions. When do you make a database transaction? Depends.
Right.
If
So
you
in
want
like the
to-
case of like the T3 code example, if we take that more concretely, it would be correct to create the queue and the ref up front as small transactions, and then later on down the road, when you're doing your idle check, you would do like, you know, your whatever, and then you'd say, just for the sake of argument, you'd have this, and you'd say like, whatever, if current count not equal to 0 or whatever.
Retry, yeah.
Is this an effect? You have to yield it, right?
Retry transaction.
Transaction, yeah.
Yeah, and then otherwise
you succeed.
And the current count is just the getting the size of the queue.
Mm-hmm.
If we get rid of this business here, like this would be the scope of the transaction here, this whole thing. So you would wrap this whole thing.
That is to get the signal, yes.
Yep.
That said,
Right.
if you wanted to compose these into other things, then you would have to extract the inner check.
Right, but
yeah.
The idea here is that the scope of the thing that you want to retry as part of your like transaction is your boundary for where you mark it as a transaction, like where you provide the transaction, right?
Well, whatever happens inside the transaction is atomic. Whatever happens outside, it's not.
Right.
So if I wanted to do, for example, idle check and do some other operations within the same transaction, this would not be okay.
Got
you
it.
would have to separate transactions.
Okay.
Unless we decide that that transaction self-compose. So if you have an above transaction, it automatically retries children transactions, which I'm not sure it's a good. It's kind of an implicit pattern.
Yeah, I kind of like that. It feels the same as scope in some regards here, where like the boundary of you have to decide what the boundary of the transaction is, similar to what like you have to decide what the boundary of a scoped operation is.
Yeah.
So there's like some degree of familiarity here. Anyway, maybe I will make a PR and see if I can make this into something that uses STM. Cleans this up a little bit for Julius. What else is in here? Net. What is this? Try reserve port. Oh, this is a good use of callback, I think. For those of you who don't know, effect.callback is a way that you can wrap like an asynchronous callback based operation with effect. So you get like a function with a resume method in here, and you can do stuff in here that's
still screen sharing.
Oh my god.
The other one.
You're right.
Yeah.
Thank God I have somebody else on the call with me. Otherwise, everybody would just be watching the wrong screen the entire stream.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm in the net module now, and I was just looking at this try reserve port method. So yeah, for this, I thought this was kind of a neat use of callback, but the idea here being that effect.callback allows you to wrap async operations into an effect. So you get like a function that has access to a resume method. So in here, it looks like a server's created. They have a settled callback. And if the server actually settles, then they resume. And once you resume, the callback exits. So if you run an effect.callback and you never call resume, then this effect would never finish unless it's interrupted. What else? Unref the server. Then if there's an error, the settle method is called with a failure effect. If listening is successful, it looks like settle is called. It looks like settle is called with the resolved address, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
And then effect.callback is also nice because if you have a callback that is currently running and gets interrupted, you kind of might want a way to like clean up stuff that's happening inside the callback. And whatever you return from an effect.callback, it's kind of like I really hate this comparison, but for folks coming from React, it's similar to like a use effect where you can like do stuff and then have a thing that you return at the end that does cleanup. It's similar in spirit here, but this effect that you return at the end would be called if the callback is interrupted. So like if nothing has called resume and this callback is still running and it gets interrupted, then this would get called. And in this case, they're closing the server. So I guess this service is primarily for network operations. Effect equals use effect. Gotcha. We need the Johannes meme on like a one-click binding. The Drake use effect meme that Johannes had created a while back. Net service is a service for startup networking helpers. Is this not the same? I guess not. Can listen on host. So I guess this is like low-level networking, node net wrappers. This is a cool little example of zip width. Is port available on loopback? Can listen on localhost or on the IPv4 loopback and on the IPv6 loopback. And if both are true, then zip width, it gives you the result of both of these and you can do something with them. Cool. It's a nice little service. Would callback only be useful in server side? Would effect.callback be useful in server-side events if I'm only expecting a specific event for processing versus just using stream?
They are unrelated, right?
I think callback is most useful for native, like integrating with native JavaScript that is callback based. So if your server-side events, however you're listening to them, if it's like, you know, an event emitter or something like that, that is only called once, then sure. But server-side events are like typically multi-shot type things. So if effect.callback is a single shot thing, if you're doing something that's multi-shot, stream is probably better. Like there is a stream.callback, which you can use if you've got a multi-shot event emitter type thing. So stream.callback, right? And then if you have like a my SSC emitter dot on.
I think you have the wrong screen again.
Oh my God, you're right. I do.
Okay.
Just
at some point, he's gonna learn to use Riverside.
Yeah. At some point, it will hand the number of screen he have. Probably I have like 12 right now.
Yeah. At some point, I'm just gonna get many more screens.
Well, he did say that he had problems with window management.
Window management, yeah.
I was very explicit about this. So in streams, because streams are multi-shot, they can integrate nicely with multi-shot event emitters. But I think that there's a callback push. Isn't there like a...
No, I think they've been unified into the same.
Maybe. Anyway, this is the idea. It's not like a perfect example of this, but like you could use sorry, I was reading all of these new properties on here.
Q is an NQ, so you have to use the Q methods.
Q event, right? You would do something like this. And the idea being here is now this is like a multi-shot situation. Like the stream can keep emitting these events because it has like you would be offering them into a queue under the hood. With effect.callback, it's a single shot resumption. Like it's something that's meant to like wait until some async op is finished, and then you call resume with that value with the effect that you want to resume with. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, maybe we'll look at one more module and then we'll break. I remembered to change screens this time, folks.
Wow.
You saw it.
Wow.
You saw it here first. This is a big deal.
Wow.
The best.
There's no effect imports in here, so we're gonna just not go in there. Schema JSON. This has only effect imported, so we can look at this module. It doesn't look like there's anything interesting here, though. Yeah, no, nothing interesting. All right, let's get out of shared. Let's go to the apps.
The actual, yeah.
Let's go to the server. Let's look at, I don't know, Mike, pick a thing.
Checkpointing.
Checkpointing, sounds good.
Layers.
Wow.
Ooh.
Layers and services. Julius, so organized. Let's look at services. Checkpoint store. The checkpoint store is a repository interface for file system backed workspace checkpoints. Owns hidden Git ref checkpoint capture, restore, and diff computation for a workspace thread timeline. It does not store user-facing checkpoint metadata and does not coordinate provider conversation rollback. Okay. This is a Sergeant Dokes moment right here. Right here. These 4 lines, Sergeant Dokes. I'm looking at you, Julius.
Motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker. It looks like that's just the interface. Let's look at the actual implementation.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
and if you don't know who Sergeant Dokes is, you had a bad life. Watch Dexter.
Watch Dexter, and then understand that the meme is related to AI generated code. So make checkpoint store. Looks like it gets some platform services. Git core. This is cool. Let's go look at this real quick. I know I'm like a little ADD at the moment, but let's look at this. I want to see if Julius is using my beautiful new child process module. He is.
It is.
I spent quite a bit of time on this module, so I'm happy. I'm happy that people are getting use out of it. The old command module was not good. Where are we? Create trace to monitor. No, I want to look at the service constructor. Make Git core. The spawner. We've got an execute method. Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on here. This is cool. Command spawner.spawn. It makes the child process object with all the stuff it gets from spawn. Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm most happy about is the ability to actually like properly collect output from different streams now, which is kind of nice. It wasn't really possible in an easy manner before. It actually really wasn't possible because of race conditions. This is very cool. This is a very involved Git integration. I like it. All right. Back to the checkpoint store. It looks like it's primarily just using delegating some commands to Git to get checkpoints and other information. I wonder if any of these are also then decoding with schema. Capture checkpoint. Make a temp directory. Isn't there a make temp directory scoped?
There he is.
Unless he's doing something else here. I thought that there was a... I am switching to another screen, but you don't need to see what I'm doing. Give me 1 sec.
Are they using the file system module from us, or?
Yeah, there is.
I think so, yes. Make
there is
temp directory.
a make temp fit, yeah.
So we could, I mean, it's not like a huge win here, but you could just use make temp directory scoped here and avoid having to do the cleanup yourself here. Like avoid the whole acquire release here, make temp directory scoped and then flat map that directly into this and then wrap it all with effect.scoped. Is there any schema stuff going on? sick.
Sure, why you would have it here?
I don't know. I'm just looking at what's going on in here. It's cool though. Like this is a very nicely designed service. A lot of these could probably be converted to effect.fn with span names to get better stack traces and also to integrate with tracing later if that was desired. Like it's a small perf improvement, but it adds up over time to not recreate these generator objects every single time these methods are called. And when you have like lots of them being created all the time like this, as part of calling a function,
getting telemetry out of the box is also a huge win.
Yeah,
I think like even less than that, getting the stack traces is a huge win. Like being able to see where something was called. I got a lot of PRs to make to T3 code. This is crazy. But according to the contributing.md,
you cannot.
my PRs will not be accepted. All right. One more thing we can look at, and then we'll probably call it. Let's look at persistence. Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. Let's look at projection state, maybe. Is there anything interesting here?
SQL schema.
Make the repository. This upserts. It's making very heavy use of effect SQL, which is cool.
It's like literally going all in on effect.
Yeah, this is probably one of the best examples I've seen of effect v4 being used in production in an open source app. That said, like if you have better examples, send them to me. But like this is high quality code. You can tell that some of it's been generated with AI and still is very high quality. Aside from like a few small things that could be improved with just lint rules or the effect LSP running on checks. But yeah, this is like a very high quality code base from what I've seen so far. I like how Julius specifically said don't open issues or PRs, and there's 337 issues and 234 open PRs.
Because nobody reads the contributing.md.
Yeah.
Nobody but me, apparently.
Probably you should have said in the README as a first line, please open PRs and issues.
Please do not contribute.
No, please contribute, so people would do the opposite.
Anyway, yeah, high quality code base. Go take a look. Don't contribute. Unless you have something like worthy to contribute, I guess. But yeah, T3 code looks like very high quality code. I'm sure that in OpenCode also there are reasons and rationales why they took the approach that they did. There may be better ways to do things, but it's exciting to see effect getting adopted there as well. I'm sure that over time we'll see more and more effect in that code base. But yeah, this is it's cool to see effect in some of these larger open source projects.
It's getting exciting.
Let me just make sure I didn't miss any questions, and then we'll probably wrap up. 24-hour cluster stream. How do I ban someone in YouTube chat?
And now we are down to 16.
Yeah, we're down to 16 chatters, folks. Blocked. Got it. PNPM question. PNPM up ILR does not seem to pick up changes to the effect beta branch. Could there be an issue with package publishing? No, that is a limitation of package managers from my understanding. They don't always pick up the semver tags with the suffixes because they're not technically like, I mean, they are standard, but like they're not standard. So like it's a package manager issue, not our problem. Sorry that happens. I know it's annoying because it is kind of nice to be able to update in one command. But while we're in beta, you kind of just gotta go look at what the latest beta is, and then at least now you can.
We have all packages under the same version, so hopefully it's a find and replace.
That was what I was gonna say. Like now you can just either do a find and replace to the latest beta version, or you can just install, have a little script in your project that you AI generate that always checks what the latest beta version of Effect is in our releases and does that. So
also if you're using like monorepos, the catalogs are great for that. You can just bump them in the catalog and you get all of them updated.
That's a good point as well. I saw Mike mention Effect QB, which looked very nice. Is that something you would be interested in adopting into main Effect? Am I answering that one?
Should I?
That question was directed at Mike. I saw Mike mention.
Mike,
our Lord and
they
Savior.
said they've seen me mentioning the project.
People only attend the office hours to see Mike, so let's be real.
Yeah.
So the thing is, short term, most likely no, because to do a query builder right, it's a lot of work, and if somebody else is doing it, I don't quite see the point of redoing the work. Usually when we do something official is because we think we can do it better. That said, if the project evolves to something production ready, that the community starts to use and so on and so forth, we'll most likely try to collaborate with the contributor and see if there's any interest in maintaining that as an official package that gets versioned together with the rest of the ecosystem. So nothing against. I feel like short term things have to evolve in parallel, but long term I don't see any blocker or any reason why not to do it. I've tried it out by myself in a very small project. It works quite well. It has some limitations. Currently, the DSL supported are not all the DSLs that we support. But hey, the project is great.
Look at this. I searched for Effect QB, and the second thing that came up on my search was Mike's tweet.
Mike's tweet, yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
This is crazy, folks. You guys should go take a look at this project. It is really cool. It is really cool what's been built here. But also, I'll also add on to what Mike said that I agree that like some things have to evolve in parallel, and I think we try to be judicious with the projects that we take under the Effect umbrella in general, because we have to commit to maintaining those projects, and we are a limited number of individuals. So if we onboarded every project that we thought was cool and committed to maintaining it, it would get it would get out of hand pretty quickly. But I do think this looks like a really cool project, and I think it should.
Plus, it has some advantages in like, we obviously have a commitment to do telemetry right, and semantic conventions around open telemetry. When you do SQL, they impose some specific tags that are only possible if you actually parse the query. And currently we don't do any query parsing. So having a query builder would probably allow to even have better telemetry out of the box. But that's also something we could contribute to this repository without having to onboard it. I see the advantage of having it in the org is the versioning and making sure that it stays up to date with the rest. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Think it's really. I think it's an extremely cool project. I think it's extremely cool, and I'll probably try it at some point with like whatever the next project I need to that I'm hacking around in is.
If you want to see something really cool here, search for schema and how they manage the
schema. Yeah.
Effect QB uses effect schema as the runtime contract for columns and tables. That integration shows up in 3 places. Column definitions carry runtime schemas. That's super cool. I know folks have wanted that forever. Tables derive, select, insert, and update schemas. That is super cool. This right here is super cool. Built-in executors apply schema back to transforms when selected projections carry a runtime schema. Also very cool. The schema-aware column APIs are built-in columns like CUUID, CText, CNumber, CDate, CTimestamp, and then CSchema to replace a column's runtime schema without changing its SQL type or key default metadata. Or you can use C.custom to actually have arbitrary non-JSON columns, and then CJSON schema for JSON columns. This is really cool. This is like very well thought out.
And if you search for CJSON, there's some very cool APIs on how to extract fields inside a JSON.
This is like very nice. I'm gonna have to give this a try sooner than I thought. This is like really nice. Let's look at CJSON.
Otherwise, I would have not posted it. Come on.
You never know, Mike.
But yeah,
you never know.
Also, they could like I've seen Mike's tweet, and then I have looked at like a couple minutes after Mike tweeted it, and like I think that also like the APIs are like so nice, so clean.
Hang on, let's see if we can find.
Search for CityPath. That's there.
CityPath, yeah.
CityPath. Here we go.
Just scroll down. Yeah, there it is.
CityPath is. Wait, what does F stand for? Function. F.json.path profile address city. Wait.
It defines an SQL function that extracts a field out of a JSON.
This is wild. Okay. F.json.build object. This. That's insane. That is really cool.
And then you have type checking on the import. This is a very bad way to show that this would not type check.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think you can do better in GitHub READMEs, but like this is very cool. This is very cool. So build object. Wait a minute. So this CityPath thing
is used in a JSON delete.
And JSON delete is a function? Like, is this thing here a function, I'm assuming? It's really hard without types to like see what is here, but this is like very cool. I need to give this a try very soon. We have like a ton of questions about this. No libsql. Yeah, sorry. Friends, we need emergency help. Either you guys or somebody, can you please help the Drizzle effect integration migrate to V4? I think Harry Solove from the community is actually working on this. I think. Actually, he messaged me the other day. Hang on. I'm getting so ADD pilled right now, but just give me 1 second. I think that this PR that he's merging into his own like branch, I think would I think it does this individual, I don't know. I know that he was asking me about some drizzle stuff the other day. I haven't really had time to look at it, but I don't think there's too much work that would need to be done to upgrade to v4 for them. Let's go back to this because this is super cool. Q.isNotNull, also ensuring that the return type is non-nullable, is also very cool. I don't think any other lib has that. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is like, I know Mike posted about it, but like mostly I just ignore Mike's tweets. I don't know what he's saying all the time. So
it's in the muted list of X.
And that's how I figure out I was muted by Maxwell.
You can't be muted by me. You showed up in my Google search results.
Google.
Yeah, true. I want to start a new project with Drizzle and Effect, but now I'm sad because Drizzle's not currently supporting Effect. They're supporting Effect, just not v4 yet. What library is this? This is Effect QB. I'm assuming stands for Query Builder, and it is extremely cool. Like this is very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. Who is this? Relsunkev, Ramazan. Yeah, good, super cool stuff. Super cool stuff. I'm gonna have to try this. Let's look at their agents file. This is a nice, okay, right here. This is good. This stuff is good. I think this is a solid agents MD. Like just shows commands to run, shows like one or two patterns that they probably like noticed the agent continuously made mistakes on, and that's it. Anyway, this is very, very cool stuff. And this is v4 native, right? I'm assuming.
I think so.
No.
Oh, it is
No,
v3.
it's still v4.
Is there a v4 branch? Oh man.
Not yet. But it can just get better with v4.
I have so many PRs I need to make. Oh my gosh. Anyway, we'll probably stop there, folks. It's been about 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, super cool stuff on the Effect QB library. Upgraded to v4. Let's do it. I'm not doing it, but someone should do it. Thank you all very much for attending Effect office hours. If we didn't address your question or you have other questions, please drop them in the office hours channel in Discord. If you're not in Discord, please join Discord. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get updates whenever we release new content. And yeah, we'll see you all next week. And thanks everybody again. Thanks, Mike and Mattia.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.